Freaking out, man. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men with power want? More power.
My name is Gianluca Zanna. I was an Italian by birth, and I became an American by choice. Our lives and freedoms are in danger. This is not a drill. If you're listening to this broadcasting, you are the resistance.
All systems go.
Welcome to Love, Guns, and Freedom.
We're not afraid.
Here we go, another Sunday, another show. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom on K-Talks 1340 AM and also 104.1 FM. The show is called Love, Guns, and Freedom. We talk about guns, we talk about freedom. At the end of the day, I really believe that the ultimate freedom is to be independent. To be also independent when it comes down to the opportunity to defend yourself. Firearms are great. I believe in America, especially in the state of Arizona, we are blessed because really we have what is called the right to keep and bear arms. But sometimes, you don't have a chance to reach that firearm. Maybe you cannot even have the firearm. Maybe some places you can't. I always say at the end, regardless of which firearm you have, you are the weapon. Starting from your mindset, your combat mindset, your brain, and of course your body is the first weapon. Then of course it's good to have also a blade or even better maybe a gun. But at the end of the day, we must learn, in my humble opinion, how to defend ourselves using our body. I'm kind of a student. I study everything. I like to learn everything. And the last, time of my life here, Kingman Force, I started to really research and study the art, because it's an art and also a science of self-defense. Among the different type of, techniques, because I don't like martial arts. I'm not into arts when it comes down to defending yourself. I don't do this for sport. It's a necessity. It's a practical aspect. I stumbled, that's pretty much been around for a while, but in the martial arts that is technically, as I said, is mostly a self-defense technique or a system called Krav Maga. And, I believe that things happen for a reason. I found also a very interesting man from the other side of the U.S., in New Jersey, who is a professional Krav Maga instructor. And also we're going to have him here at Kingman Force at the end of March to have a great seminar to try really to understand the foundations of Krav Maga. Now, as I said before to Greg, I don't want to destroy his last name. I'm terrible at that. Let me just announce him as Greg, and he can introduce himself. Greg, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Luca, and I wanted to thank you for inviting me to be part of your radio show. My name is Greg DZIEWONSKI. I'm a Krav Maga instructor from New Jersey. I'm also a national director of Krav Maga Federation AC under Alan Cohen from Israel. He's one of the best Krav Maga instructors in the world. And I'm a founder of Performance Krav Maga schools in New Jersey. We teach self-defense. We teach Krav Maga. Krav Maga means contact combat. It's a self-defense system that was developed for IDF, Israel Defense Forces, and later on adapted for law enforcement and civilian needs. So it's a very practical system that is designed, basically for self-defense.
Yes, and let me tell you something, because, as I said, there are a lot of Krav Maga out there, but your organization is linked directly to the founder, because, at least the foundation came from Israel. And give a little bit briefly the history of Krav Maga, because many people may know it, maybe may not know it. Please, go ahead.
Sure. So the beginnings of Krav Maga are in pre-World War II, reaching to Czech Republic, Czechoslovakia. There was a wrestler and boxer named Emil Lichtenfeld. And when the Nazis started to attack Jews, he decided to form a resistance. Quickly, he found out that what he learned so far, it didn't work on the street against, multiple attackers, against sticks, against knives. So he started to develop a new system, and this is really beginnings of Krav Maga. When State of Israel was formed, Imi Lichtenfeld was asked to lead hand-to-hand combat for IDF, for Israel Defense Forces. And he did that for 17 years. During that time, Krav Maga, that's where the Krav Maga got its name. It was developed, it was approved, it was proven to be effective in the battlefield. And for all this time was a top secret. Nobody knew about Krav Maga except for IDF. In 1964, Imi retired from army, and he opened his school in Israel, in Netanya, started teaching civilians, and that's when Krav Maga started take its new form when it was suitable for civilians and also was taught to law enforcement. So right now, the Krav Maga is being taught to special forces, special units, FBI, Navy SEALs, of course, in Israel to Mossad, Lotar, and everybody who needs to learn very effective self-defense system.
Greg, I can ask you something.
And,
Can I ask you something,
Sure.
Greg? When did you start? Every one of us has a moment of, initiation, a journey when it begins. Can I ask you, when did you start your journey with Krav Maga?
I started Krav Maga about 10 years ago, and my background is judo. I trained judo when I was younger. Then I had injury to my back, so I had to stop training in judo, and I thought that was my martial arts years were over until I saw a program on TV about Krav Maga, and I was just amazed how effective it was, how simple it was to learn, and I decided to start training. So I found a nearby school. Then I've met Master Alan Cohen from Israel, and I started learning Krav Maga directly under him.
I see. And this is very interesting because, after all, if you think about it, Krav Maga is a mix of probably the most practical and efficient techniques taken from different self-defense systems, because if you think about it, there is some boxing, there is some grappling, of course, there is a little bit of everything, but it's all simplified and made almost in an instinctive way that you don't need to think, okay, what am I doing now? Number 3, number 4. Yes, there are some sequences to learn, but it's much more instinctive and practical. And also another thing, technically here we're talking about fighting for your life. This is not fighting for a taekwondo or some sort of a judo competition. We are not on the dojo, we are not on the soft ground. Here it's about you live or die. And that's pretty much the philosophy of Krav Maga, because after all it was used and is still used by people around the battlefield. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good point that you brought up. It's a real self-defense system. It's designed to save your life. And at the beginning of your show, you mentioned about use of firearms and sometimes not being able to go to your firearm as quickly as you would like to save your life. And you might be, grabbed from the back. You might be, in a situation when somebody's too close, they have a knife. Krav Maga deals with all these problems, so it really complements firearms training. So, for example, if you put in all your safety just to owning and carrying firearm, then you're giving yourself a sense of false safety, because there might be situations where you won't be able to go to your firearm right away, and you have to deal with the problem at hand first, and then enjoy your firearm.
Yeah.
So it really complements what you do. And together, knowing some firearms training, knowing some Krav Maga, you can be very, very efficient. And that's that's where you can be safe.
And it is very true because, everything between what I call breathing distances or even colloquial distance, from 0 to 5 yards. I mean, good luck. If somebody wants to jump on you and you have your gun concealed in your holster, especially at 3 o'clock position, any position, doesn't matter. Probably that's the faster, but still, you're not going to be able even to deliver what you need to do. So it is necessary. I really believe it's a must to also learn, especially for close contact initiation of a fight, basic foundation of empty hands. And in this case, I truly believe that Krav Maga is the best, in my humble, no opinion. This is a fact. I try to look at different things with an open mind, and I do research. That's my job. I like to study. I'm kind of a, forever student, I call myself. And I really like the fact that this system is being experimented by thousands, I say millions at this point, of human beings that are trying to use it to defend themselves and to, deliver what they need to do, win the fight. Question, I know you're heading out back to location of the father of Krav Maga. You're going to Israel, am I right or wrong?
Yes, actually, tomorrow morning I'm flying to Israel. We're going there for international Krav Maga training course. It's going to be about a week of training. Of course, we're hoping to find some time also to, sightseeing and doing some other activities. But, yeah, but it's going to be a great training that's going to be provided by my teacher, Master Alan Cohen. And
so it's
Mr.
Cohen does this.
Just like you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just like you, I like to learn. I'm always a student. Sometimes I'm an instructor, but most of the time I'm a student. And especially that Krav Maga is what we call open system. It always evolves.
Yes.
It never stays the same. That's because, the tactics of the terrorists change, the weapons change, the length of the weapons changes. So we have to adapt. We can't just stay with same things that we've learned 10 years ago, because there are different situations, there are different tactics that we're going to have to deal with. And that's why, you never stop learning Krav Maga. Once you're in it, and, you will want to do it.
Yes.
Because it's always interesting. There's always new aspects. There's always, new problem to solve. And it's never boring.
Yes, and it's true. By the way, I was studying a little bit about also it all evolves because the mentality is every time you can bring something that can work, you test it, you have an open mind, and you test and you verify it, and then at that point you can assimilate into your curriculum, to your system. This is not about ego. Okay, my system is better than yours. I think the goal here is to provide the best, most updated system, and that's what I like about Krav Maga. It's an open system when it comes down to self-improvement. That's great. I mean, sometimes you go with more traditional martial arts. Hey, that's the way it is. Don't do it differently, otherwise they're gonna send a letter from Japan or China that they're gonna excommunicate you. Just kidding. But anyway, that's the point. This is an open combat system. Now, listen. Let's talk about briefly. We have the 30th of March. 2 days at Kingman Force, a great seminar. I'm very humble and proud that we were able to find each other through Facebook, and because I really want to start, my facility, mostly firearms. Now we do also empty hands, but now finally we would like to start to implement Krav Maga, at least a good foundation. So we're going to have this first seminar with you, 30th and 31st, I guess, of March 2019, 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. Briefly, what we're going to talk about and what you're going to teach us or share with us.
Okay, so it's going to be very intense. So we're going to learn a lot. We're not going to spend, a lot of time just socializing. It's all about training. Of course, everything is going to be explained, but we have a lot of room to cover. We call it comprehensive training seminar, and there's also going to be instructor certification for some people. But basically what we need to do is cover about 70% of our curriculum. So it's going to be a lot. We're going to start with basic self-defense, defense against punches, kicks, grabs, guillotines, chokes. This is very important. It's a real self-defense. It can happen on the street. And it does happen a lot of times. It happens a lot of times to women. This is how they get kidnapped. So it's a very important aspect to cover. The other thing that we're going to cover is weapon defense. So we're going to spend significant amount of time on learning how to defend against the knife attacks and the knife threats. Even if you have your firearm on you, you won't be able to draw if somebody attacks you with the knife from less than 20 feet away. So 20 feet sounds like a long distance, but that can be covered before you can draw your weapon.
Yes.
So we'll spend some time on knife defense. We also spend time on defense against stick attacks, which could be a baseball bat, could be a baton, could be a piece of pipe, or any weapon of opportunity that was picked up right before the fight. And it's dangerous because there's the attacker has an extension of his arm, so we have to cover that as well. And of course, defense against gun threats, very important. If somebody has an opportunity to come to you closely and they have a gun, even if you have your firearm on you, they already drawn their weapon, so you cannot go for your firearm. You have to deal with that threat first. And we're gonna spend time on defenses against gun threats from different angles, gun threat to the head, to the chest, to the side, to the back. It's very important to have those skills if you're serious about safety. So, like I said, we're going to cover about 70% of our curriculum. It's going to be a lot, but everybody's going to be able to learn those techniques, and hopefully, being able to implement them in real life situations. But we're hoping those real life situations never happen.
Yes. And also, the idea is always this one. We give you the foundation to start your journey because, I wish in 2 days, okay, now I'm an expert. No way. It takes years and you still never stop practicing and learning. But at least when you know how to do it correctly, you can start to have a foundation to continue your training. That's the idea, at least for me. But listen, I want to give you the floor. Normally, that's what I do with my guests. You have like 2 minutes, whatever you want to say about any topic, not censorship. You got the floor before I let you go.
Okay. So, basically, I would like to encourage everyone to, really think about, putting the safety in your own hands. You are the first line of defense. You cannot rely on the police. That never happens right away. Okay, they'll come. Maybe they'll investigate. Maybe they'll be able to help you. But you always have to be first line of your own defense. Having said that, you're responsible for safety of your family, training. Like Krav Maga complements firearms training, and you really have to, become good at it. At least, to the point where you can defend yourself. And Krav Maga is a great system because it's simple to learn. It's based on your instincts. It's based on natural movements, and then we develop the system from there. So I would say just, come to Kingman, give it a try, learn something valuable, because it may pay off later on in your life.
Very good. Listen, I can't wait to see you, and my best to you and all the people on New Jersey. I don't want to go too much into politics, but it's a tough place to be. At least for me, would be kind of impossible. I completely commend you that you're there in the state of New Jersey, where guns, they're pretty much like I don't know, a bad word. Okay, only criminals can have guns. That's
I know what you're saying.
That's don't even get me with taxes, but that's another story. Okay, let's stick it with Krav Maga. Listen, thank you very much, and have a great trip for your journey. Okay.
Thank you, Luca.
Thank you. I'll see you soon when you come back. Thank you. And there was Greg.
Thank you.